Know her well. She first gained fame as part of one of the most successful music groups of all time, Destiny's Child. Grammy-winning performer Michelle Williams has gone solo again. She just released her fourth album, Journey to Freedom.
It came out last week. It's already spawned a hit single, Say Yes.
Where you lead me, Lord, I will go. I have no fear 'cause I know who's in control. There's no limit to what you can do 'cause it all belongs to you. Yes, it all belongs to you. Now rush now. You're almighty and all powerful. When Jesus says yes, nobody
like that
can
part.
say no.
Yeah. That's a really cool turn there. Say Yes topped Billboard's Gospel Digital Songs list for 4 weeks, along with the Hot Gospel Songs and Gospel Streaming Songs list. I didn't know there were so many lists.
And the album hit Billboard Gospel Albums and top Christian and Gospel charts at number 2, not to mention making the top 10 for Billboard's top independent albums.
I'd buy it for the album cover alone. Look at that. Stunning.
Michelle Williams is right here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Even
coming
more
in.
So I asked you just before we went on camera, why choose to do another gospel album? You could have gone either way because you have.
Yeah, well, for this, definitely, I guess for all the albums I've done, but this one was a strong calling that I was kind of not wanting to do. But I feel like sometimes when you know in your spirit or your gut that you're supposed to do something, you won't have peace until you do it.
So what was it that made you, want to do it? What was the struggle or what were the issues?
The issues were, to be honest with you, you want to keep up with everybody else. You want to do what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
But you're not staying in your lane. And you won't have success until you do what it is that you're supposed to do or what you're gifted in. I'm not gifted to do hair. So I'm not going to be successful in that area. Now I can put it in my hair.
You've got
and
good hair. I do
tell
have
you
to
what
admit.
flat irons to use. But I'm not, please don't ask me to do your hair. But
Okay.
if you ask me to sing about good news and hope and inspiration or write something, that's my lane.
You were raised with choir
Yeah.
and gospel and church.
Yes.
But the pressure to be more mainstream maybe, or pop, or even more scandalous, how does that weigh in for you?
I wouldn't say, because for me, I don't want to be put in a box, as far as saying, oh, well, she's the gospel girl or she's this, she's that, because I embrace every aspect of the arts. But every now and then there is pressure to be like, maybe I need a scandal or something to be talked about every day.
Yeah.
But in a way, I like the, not necessarily under the radar thing, but I like the protection that not being talked about all the time kind of gives you.
Well, and you have that to an extent living in Chicago rather than living here in Hollywood, and yet you want to move to Hollywood, so there's no protection here.
So bad, my body can't take the cold winters. I hear it's going to be a worse winter this year than it was last year in Chicago.
But can you take the paparazzi?
And Jesus said yes to LA, so.
Okay, well, there you go.
Thought as much Broadway and theater as you've been doing, I saw you at the Almonds in here, which
Yeah.
was great.
Thank you.
That you would maybe pick New York.
I love New York, and if I'm ever to do another, I want to do more Broadway, but I can always get an apartment there for 6 months or a year, or however long it takes, and do that. And I've done that in the past. So, but LA is where I really want to be.
Very good.
Something else that surprised me about you. Now, tell me if I'm wrong,
What's
because this
that?
comes from Wikipedia. You own the Chicago Sky.
Yes,
right?
Did.
I have ownership in the Chicago Sky.
Do you still have ownership?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you do. So
Yes, sir.
so you are definitely a WNBA not only fan but investor.
An absolute supporter. I think it's girl power. I
For
love
you.
it.
Speaking of girl power, talk about your album, because you have some names we know, joining you on the album.
Yes.
I look at it, but I don't have my glasses, so I
I
can't read.
do. Beyonce and Kelly are featured on
What?
the song "Say Yes." They are.
Really?
They heard the song, and a funny story about it is, I went in saying, you know what, I've got this song on the album that I want y'all to do, and I let them hear the entire album, and "Say Yes" was not the song that I pitched for them.
Oh, you're kidding.
And they heard "Say Yes" and like, Michelle, you're holding out on us. This is what we want to do. We want to do "Say Yes." See, look. Kelly. Yes. It worked out so perfectly.
You all look fantastic.
Did you all come from a gospel background?
You know what? Destiny's Child has always embraced our spirituality. We've always had gospel songs on our albums or taken the time out to sing an a cappella version of a song during our tour. So we never forget our foundation.
Okay.
And you have a TV show.
Yes, I
along these lines.
do. Can you believe it?
It's called Fix My Choir.
It
That's a
is
great
called
idea.
Fix My Choir. And look at this. It airs October 5th.
Talk about church choirs, right?
Church choirs, barbershop. Look, that's a barbershop choir out of New York.
And you go in and tell them what they're doing wrong?
Yeah, all of that, or they call us for help. You know, and so we have a barbershop choir. See, that's the Sirens of Gospel.
That's a great
Yeah.
new angle on a music show.
Yeah, it's not a music competition. It's we go in and mentor choirs.
Is it
all
more a
across the
music
country.
issue, do you find, or more a personality issues? That,
Music, personality, and the common thread throughout every
Yeah.
choir I worked with was respect. Whether it was respect for leadership or leadership not knowing how to handle who's in their choir.
All right, let's talk
well, I'll
about
tell you,
where to
when,
see
when
this.
you walk in, there's
My
going to be
Choir.
some respect.
Fix My Choir debuts on Oxygen Channel on Wednesday, November 5th at 10 p.m. And Michelle's fourth solo album is available in stores now.
It contains her hit single Say Yes, as well as Fire. And If We Had Your Eyes.
Yes.
If We Had Your Eyes.
If We Had Your
Michelle, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
And Fantasia's also on.
Fantasia, Ty Tribett, and Lecrae. It's a great roundup.
Good for you.
Thank you.
That's
We'll
it for
see you
us.
tonight at 10.
The power of God.